All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Upper Market Show. Hope everyone's having an amazing morning. I hope you're having a great day. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I just wanted to make sure you knew I was around.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I got a news alert on my phone, and I thought I usually have it turned off, and I forgot.
no
How are you
worries,
doing
man.
this morning?
Doing good, man. Doing really good. So let's get to it. We had a pretty interesting day yesterday. As it seems like every day.
Before you jump into that, you might want to go over to take a look at X. It just started to explode.
Yeah, let's definitely do it. Let's see what's going on there. Oh yeah, X is it's got something going on
Since
here
you're
for
gonna,
sure.
yeah, I don't see the news on it yet, but I'll figure it out in just a second.
All right, excellent. See what's going on there. So yeah, yeah, I know that what the CFO resigned yesterday. I think it was that caused this drop, and now they're got something else going on here this morning. So that's going to be interesting. You know what? I didn't have this one on my list though. For some reason, I didn't have it yesterday, but we did have some good ones on here. All right, guys. So let's get going. Let's see how yesterday what we had on here yesterday traded very well. Let's start with Roku, guys. Roku has just been amazing. Still going to stay right on here on my list because this thing has been really fun to trade, giving us a lot of great opportunities. So let's go over to what we had yesterday. So yesterday, Norman and I were trading live, and you can see here this thing set up nicely for a long. You had a nice ABCD pattern kind of forming here, but the minute it came above the VWAP, it cleared some good levels that we're waiting for. It also would clear this one here, the 113.60, and these levels again, guys. Let's go back to the daily, and you can see where we're getting this from. So we knew if it cleared this level here, this 113.60, it was going to be a possible run because that's the last area of resistance after this consolidation here, right? So many people here found a bottom around 198. I think was the lowest point of this consolidation period, and from there it's just been tearing it up. As usual, guys, you could trade this both ways. Waited for the pullback here off this high of the pre-market, but again, that high of the pre-market is not no coincidence. That's coming off this 113.60, right? The last area of resistance on Roku after that consolidation. So this thing popped up a little bit, hit that level exactly on the head, came back down. Things were a little bit choppy, guys. We're going to see a lot of chop in some of these stocks. We're going to look at AMD, MU, and the market was also very choppy as well. Eventually, Roku decided to take matters into their own hands, and you can see here how beautiful it comes above the VWAP. Retested the VWAP. We got long around this area here. Pops up nicely right to this level, high of the day. Also, the prior the highest resistance of that consolidation. Comes back and retests this. How many times have we seen that, right? Breaks through a level, comes back, you get the retest. Great area to add to your position if you're long here from this area, or to even get in the trade, right? Say your stop loss below some of these moving averages, and look how beautiful this thing just heads up, trending nicely on the 9. So again, this thing was just beautiful to trade yesterday. Just an excellent move on Roku there. Here's AMD. Here's what we saw in AMD. It's just pure crap, guys. Very, very choppy. And it stayed like that for the entire day. It looks like it's on a downtrend, right? But this downtrend is very, very nasty. Again, just really nothing clean there for us to take a trade on. I think it took a long around this area here, thinking it was going to get above the V up, and we got stopped out a little bit around this area here, I believe. Here is MU. MU also very nasty, guys. Again, me and Norm were on the mic, and we're like, man, there is nothing clean out here besides Roku. I think NVIDIA, Norm also took one or two good trades on NVIDIA as well. Here's Apple. Same situation, guys. Just pure chop.
Not good.
Not good. Yeah, not good at
No,
all.
I just wanted to clarify. No, it was terrible.
Yeah, it was a terrible, terrible. Nvidia here. I think you took a trade right off of here, right? And that one worked out, but then the other one didn't. It's a small loss or break even, I think it was.
Yeah.
So again, that's Nvidia there. SDC, guys. SDC was nice, and it is a recent IPO. I do have shares for short. Usually, these recent IPOs it's difficult to find shares for short, but this thing traded very nice though. I had it on my list. I didn't. I have a hard time trading recent IPOs because there's just not enough information, enough levels. But man, if you waited for a 5-minute opening range here and you saw that it failed from the VWAP, nice entry here for the break of the low of the day at that time. And look at this beautiful drop. Then gives you kind of a double bottom, not as clean. I like the double bottoms when you get the nice W. But this is clearly a reversal pattern right on here. Cannot get towards the lower low here. New 5-minute high, and then here's the confirmation candle. Great entry for a long above the VWAP, and you can see here how it squeezes nice. And again, one more time, guys. Again, I'm gonna keep saying this because this happens so much, and I want you to be aware of this when you're taking a trade, thinking of going the other way. If you're here and you're not in this trade already, wait for the pullback, wait for the retest, right? Don't chase this candle here. If you chase this candle here and you're in here, you're not going to get much. Your risk to reward is horrible. And then you might probably end up getting out of the trade after you see that, okay, it's not moving, right? So if you wait for the retest, here's the retest. Now you have a better entry, great risk to reward. This thing has to now go through all these levels and moving averages for you to get stopped out, and that's difficult to do. Can it happen? Absolutely. Nothing is confirmed, but how many times do we see this, guys? Retest and then head back up. Roku did the exact same thing yesterday. So again, some chop in there, but Roku definitely made a lot of the days for the members here. I think everybody got a piece of Roku. Yes, I'm just going to throw it right back on here just so we don't forget about our new buddy there. Norm, what do we have going on in the SPY today? What's happening? What's new?
Well, you would never expect if you tuned in and just saw the SPY essentially being flat that last night, yesterday afternoon, well after the close, that SPY dropped 4 points in a matter of about 5 minutes. So news came out yesterday that the Chinese essentially were unwilling to deal. Trade talks had broken down, and the SPY precipitously collapsed. And then it came out several hours later that that wasn't the case, they said, and so it bounced right back. It was kind of a wacky after-hours session. Those moves are possible after hours. There's not a lot of liquidity. There's not a ton of volume in the market, so it's easier for that to happen. Anyway, so right now we're sitting flat. A few minutes ago, we just got jobless claims, which were at 210,000 versus 219 expected. I have not seen CPI. It just came out a few minutes ago. I have not seen that one yet. And then throughout the day, we've got several members of the Fed speaking at different events and functions. So I don't really anticipate a ton coming from those, but they're out there. You never know. You could have that weird outlier. So today and tomorrow we've got talks between the U.S. and Chinese going on, and any news that comes out of that will likely cause either pops or drops in the market.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Just keep an eye out.
Definitely keep an eye out for that. All right, folks, so let's get to it. Let's see, our gappers list looks very interesting with some really interesting numbers here. This one's up 100%, this one down 30%, and then we got some stuff in between here. So let's see what's going on. So off the top, I'm going to keep Roku on here, not doing much right now in regards to as percentage, right? Pretty much flat right now, but again, some good volume already, 105. Oops, sorry. Here we go, that's Roku. There we go. Yeah, let's get this... there it is. So it's Roku on the daily. So again, been very interesting to trade. It's gonna be fun to see what it does now. Are we going to continue on this move? We definitely closed the gap, right? So here's the gap at 117. Again, I got out too early out of this trade. I knew it was possibly going to keep going and close this gap. It did that yesterday. So now, are we going to stay above this or come back down? Right? It looks very strong right now, and I said it from the morning. I was very bullish on bias on Roku yesterday, the way it was setting up. So again, now we'll have to see what it does today. It can go either way, but definitely one you want to have on your list. We'll look at some levels in a second on that one. X is very active, guys. Some news yesterday about their CFO resigning. So here we have some activity also happening this morning. Norm, once you find out what's going on there, let us know. But again, I can see here.
They updated some guidance, and it was better than Wall Street had expected. So that's what popped it. Thanks to Lee W for pointing me in the right direction on that.
Excellent. Yeah, Lee W has been with us for quite some time. Great member of the community. Thank you for that and all you contribute to us. Here's X, guys. So that's interesting. We'll keep an eye on this one. Next, we have, let's start from the top. RARX. This one on here is
a buyout at the cash.
Yeah,
it's a cash buyout.
Nasty. So we'll skip that one. No wonder it's up so much and all that value, 1.3 million shares. CTRP, we have looked at in the past. What's happening? What was that? Oh, block trade. Yeah, look at this block trade here, guys. So not anything fun here. The daily does look interesting, so you could definitely put this on your secondary list. You do have a nice double bottom here forming off this 29, but again, this here is nothing to mess with. So we'll throw it on there just to look at it before 9:30. See if anything changes, because that daily does look interesting, but the pre-market action not doing anything we like at the moment. Here is DAL. So DAL had a nice drop a couple of days ago, gapping down and kind of gapping down, 2 days gap down and then consolidated, and now we have this drop here. So we got some good volume on the pre-market right now, 423 down almost 4%. And I like the daily because look at this here, guys. We're about to lose. We could lose some major support here. You could have this one here and this one here. These support areas, there's nothing down here, so that could be good to get a drop on. Or it could bounce from here. Right? We got to wait and see how it opens up, because we tested this 1, two a couple of days ago, and then here again. But again, we got some good volume on this one, so definitely worth watching. Delta Airlines. No, what was the news that gapped this down? I don't recall what made this drop here.
Yeah, they released earnings this morning.
Okay.
Yeah, so their earnings were a little bit better than expected. Their revenues came up shy. Their guidance was a little bit shy, but they also talked about potential because they don't have exposure to the 737 MAX 8 that the Southwestern American does. So they've actually picked up a good amount of customers over the last several months, from I guess the year actually to date.
Okay.
That because other airlines have had to cut capacity, so they're spending. The pilots union and all these guys have contracts that they get paid double for overtime, as opposed to it's pretty standard. A lot of them get 1.5. A lot of people get 1.5 times pay. So they get paid double. So that ate into their some of what's going on. They're having to hire pilots, flight attendants, all kinds of stuff like that.
That's kind of bittersweet. Right? It's a good problem to have, but I see how they're taking a hit there. So this will be interesting to watch, guys. Got some good volume. Pre-market activity not looking all that great right now, but I definitely want to watch this one today just because of the way the daily's setting up pretty nice here. Let's look at, we have X on there already. Let's look at PCG. PCG's down 30%.
This is I would say a dumpster fire, but I guess a forest fire.
Forest fire is more appropriate.
And I don't mean to joke about the devastation that these guys have caused, but
now they're
it's terrible how many people lost their homes. These guys are going bankrupt from it, and now they're shutting off power lines to millions and millions of people across California, so that they don't start any more fires. Jeez. I heard last night that at some point in the next week or 10 days, starting yesterday, over half the population of California will have their power out at some point because of these guys.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Yep.
So here they're dropping quite a bit, guys, another 30% with some good volume, and 2.4 million shares traded right now. So definitely going to keep this one on watch this morning. We'll see what we can get out of this so far. The pre-market looks very active, not as clean. But again, a lot of transactions happening here at PCG. All right, next, what do we have? Let's go to our NASDAQ active, NASDAQ gainers, and then we'll look at some of the stuff you guys are throwing on in the chat there as well. ARAX buyout, as Norm mentioned, so nothing to watch there. The BBBY, this is good, 1.2 million shares traded so far. Why is this one not on the gappers? Maybe ATR is low. What's the ATR?
I think it's an ATR. I swear I thought it popped up on the gappers earlier, so I don't know why it's not, but
it's missing by a penny.
Maybe it's an ATR. Yeah, maybe that's it. But so these guys hired a new CEO. They hired the chief merchandising officer from Target. That was announced last night. So it should be interesting to watch. Shorting strong stocks a lot of times is a recipe for disaster. But
yes,
if you look like at a 1 or 2 minute chart, starting from pretty early this morning, about 8 a.m., it's just a steady ride down. I don't know, this business model. A lot of people have questioned it, and the couponing and everything else that Bath & Beyond does. So we'll see if this guy can make any difference. It should be interesting to watch this one today.
Yeah, definitely in play. Wow, look at these drops over here. Yeah, this is pretty active even right now. So definitely going to put this on here, and I'm going to put it.
I guess a market maker's watching our show this morning.
Yeah, he is. He's putting his orders in. So BBBY, definitely one to watch this morning, guys. This one, it is up 17%. Some good volume, 1.3 million shares traded. Up on some good news, so definitely we'll keep an eye on that one. ADXS, as we know, garbage. TVIX is pretty much flat at the moment. NASDAQ indicator here, what do we have? Pretty much flat. AMD just garbage. It's going to be banned until next year for me. It's just trades horrible. We saw that yesterday in the intraday, just nasty. Another NASDAQ indicator here, not much going on, pretty flat. NAKD we know is garbage. And let's look at Apple. I still like Apple. The way it's setting up on the daily, even though it disappointed us yesterday, Apple still is a good one to watch because it has a possible breakout here, guys. As you can see, it keeps having a hard time breaking out of this, but you can see the lower lows happening on the daily, and here we have a nice consolidation, right? It could be just chop in the intraday, but once this thing breaks out of here, Norm, I know you're salivating over this thing to happen, because I know you're gonna be all over it. But
I'm watching it. I'm watching it. It's interesting. This breakout is like slow mo.
yeah,
It's you know, so I think any good news, especially out of the China thing, comes and this thing goes to high of day or high of all time
yeah,
pretty quick, up 334ish. But not saying that's going to happen. God, we've been waiting a year and a half for it, but
right, right,
it's definitely an interesting chart. And one thing I want to point out on Bed Bath and Beyond, we just looked at.
yep.
Thing has a massive short float. So that's the other thing. And I meant to say it when I said, recipe for disaster, shorting a strong stock that's up 17%.
Yeah,
I'd be terrified to get squeezed in this as well.
yeah.
So you have to really be. I would be really careful about that.
Yeah, that would not be pretty. 80%. That's high. That's the highest I've seen in a very, very long time, guys. So be careful with that. All right, let's go over to the following column over at RARX. As a buyout, BBBY, we have MITO. Nothing going on there. Pretty crappy. Not much volume. PRQR. Same situation. Horrible. SHFC. Nothing going on there. Chris, nothing happening. RADA also not looking great. Fold, not looking great. No volume. VSTM, same situation. No volume there. And last one on this column, RETA, also nothing going on in that one as well. All right, but so far we got a pretty decent list. I like what I'm seeing so far at the moment. Norm, do you have anything we haven't looked at yet that you like?
I'm still looking around. Facebook it's kind of been consolidating. I'm watching it on the daily. It's not really doing much this morning. It's got very little volume. But I'm keeping that on my list to see if anything happens over the next few days with it. They've also got some news right now has to do with political advertising and their policies on it. They're getting some scrutiny. So I'm keeping my eyes on that, see if anything causes that one to move. But other than that, just pretty much what we've already discussed.
Yeah, excellent. All right, guys, let's see what you guys have on your end. What do you guys like this morning? Mike Cassidy from YouTube says DAL has an investors call at 10 a.m. So we'll be on the lookout for that as well. It's kind of like what happened to who had the call yesterday as well that took off. Man, I forget the ticker now. There was one that had a call at 10 a.m. And it's just when DPZ, was it yesterday or the day before? That was yesterday.
It was a couple of days ago, yeah.
Yeah, this thing they had a call at 10 and it just took off nicely, man. So that was nice. All right, what else we guys have? So let's look over here. AMDT. All right, let's see how these guys are doing here. Our brokers with the broker battle. Yeah, they don't have much going on right this second. But again, they found the bottom here. Looks like they want to bounce from here. You do have some areas, so some good levels you can reach out for. And you got a moving average right on here. TD took the biggest hit out of all of them percentage-wise, right? They took a very nice drop here out of the E-Trade, Schwab, and all these guys. They were the ones that took the nice hit. I don't like the pre-market at the moment. It does have some volume. It will be coming up shortly in our gappers list if it can get over 100,000 shares traded. Definitely worth watching later. We'll take a look at it. Have it down here as one for us to review. Let's see what else we have at the moment. Bank of America, BAC. Or are you tagging someone? I think you're no, you are saying Bank of America. BAC. So here's the issue with BAC. It really has to be in play, guys. If there's no news on this one, you don't want to be involved with it. The ATR is horrible. It doesn't move well. It trades very, very slow. You really have to have a good catalyst to trade these banking stocks. Same thing with West Fargo. Let's look at West Fargo. They had some news on this day here. I traded it on this day, and it moved, right? It moved well. And then actually, look, I had a nice drop here. But overall, it doesn't trade very well. So unless you have a good catalyst on Bank of America, I wouldn't.
You can sit all day and wait for an 8-cent move.
Yeah, I wouldn't waste space on my watch list on this one unless it's something that you're aware of that's happening. DPZ, that's the one we had the big move. This one could be, again, good continuation today, either way, up or down. Again, this is a $30 bar here, so you want to be extra cautious with that. It doesn't trade very well. On this day yesterday, was in play after that call. They had some good news, and you can see, I'll show you the 5-minute. We do have a little bit of time, so I'll show you the 5, right? Here's what's the choppiness around this area, right? After the call at 10, whatever was said was amazing, and then it just took off from there. So Again, very nice trade at that day. I don't know if we're going to get that type of action today. Let's look at what else we have. Cisco. All right, Cisco. What do we have on Cisco? Let's remove some of these levels. All right, so this is gapping down 1.6. The thing about Cisco, it's hard to trade. It doesn't trade very well. It could be very choppy. I do like the way it's sitting on the daily here. It could be a possible for a for a move. If it loses this level, right, it can probably head down towards the bottom. What do we have here as far as the next level? Yeah, we got some space down here. So if that can lose that level there, it can be nice for a short. But at the moment, volume is very light. This could be a good possible, guys. Throw it on your secondary watch list. But I'm not going to put this one at the moment on my list. Docu, you keep watching Docu. Let's see. Yeah, Docu has a nice daily as well. Gapped up here, held, right? Sometimes these things consolidate, head back down towards their normal trading range. But this thing held. And actually, it's been trading very nice. Had a couple of great days yesterday as well. Today, the volume is very light, guys. This is all-time high as well. We're all-time high or pretty close to it. Yeah, I think so. I think we crack all-time high. Yeah. So again, this could be interesting, guys. Volume is very light at the moment, though. That's the one thing I'm seeing. But again, definitely put it on your secondary list. I'm going to look for this one on my turbo breakup breakdown. Because I like some of the stuff that I have on here already that have some good volume and some news behind it. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. Let's see what else. DAL today. Yeah, I definitely have that on my list. SCSO. Okay, got downgraded. Okay. All right. Thanks, Mark. HPQ. All right. So what do we have here on HPQ?
Tough to trade.
Oh, HPQ is just taking a massive hit. Doesn't trade very well, but man, the last couple of days it's just been getting slammed. This could be a good possible, guys. It does have some volume. It is on our gappers list, so it's starting to get going. Pre-market activity is bad, but it's a nicey stock. They usually don't have the best pre-market activity, but I remember on this day they had a good intraday trading when they had this gap down. So it was a beautiful short. Whoever took that trade, we can definitely see what we can get out of HPQ today. Let's check the short flow on AMDT. Let's see what AMDT has. What's the short flow on this one? Is there not much? Only 3%. So I wouldn't worry about the short flow on percentage on this one here. I think AMDT is gonna, it's gonna be okay. It might not pop today, but it's setting up like it wants to get, start closing some of this gap here, right? So we'll see how, especially now that a lot of other people are coming with the zero commissions. They're not the only ones taking a hit. They took the biggest hit, but not the only one, so that kind of helps them a bit. So we'll see how that goes. EXO, let's see what EXO is doing here. So here, what do we have? There's a down 22%. That's quite a big drop. 416,000 shares traded. What's the float on this? Lower price stock?
240 million.
Ooh, that's quite a bit. There's something about stocks with that type of flow in this price range that I personally don't like. I don't know what it is. They just don't trade very clean. But this was definitely
it's because most of them are trash. Most of them are trash companies, and the reason for that is CEOs of I'm going to say major companies, and by that I mean large companies. I mean, this one's almost $1 billion company, and that's as of yesterday. Even despite this massive drop, they don't like to see their stock under $10. So they'll do anything they can to keep their stock over $5 or $10. And if they can't, it's usually because the company is just garbage. And that's why they trade like this.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's see what else we have, guys, on here. FCX. Another one also.
I think they actually pulled their guidance, didn't they, Merrick? Didn't they completely just yank it? Or did they lower it? Yeah. So, I mean, essentially, it's not good. I mean, that's not even saying, yeah, we're not going to do quite as good as we thought. It's just.
So, guys, IRBT, also not much going on right now volume-wise. Again, they're just not doing anything. So I wouldn't put this on my list just yet. They had a decent day yesterday with some significant volume compared to what they do on a regular basis. But again, just nothing significant at the moment happening with this pre-market activity. It's pretty light. So I wouldn't watch it per se. I will look for it to hit our scanners if it does something interesting. But right now, it's just in a pretty bad situation pre-market wise. All right, let's see what else we have. We have here SWKS got upgraded. All right, not much volume at the moment, but you can see the pop here, the nice little gap of 2.8. So it just needs more volume. I like some of the stuff that we have some volume on right now. GNRC, also no volume. Man, the play happened yesterday. This was yesterday. Here you could get some kind of continuation, but what we can do is when you have something this big pop here, you can probably just get some chop here, right? Some consolidation happening here. But this move was yesterday. I wouldn't watch it today unless it hits our scanners one way or the other. But right now it's in the area of resistance right at the moment. So it could do what it did last time, right? What it did is just chopped around and consolidated here. It could keep going, but again, I just don't see anything great right now setting up to watch. Let's do one more, and then Norm, if you could explain to us after this one, what is the short flow? Somebody on YouTube is asking. That's a great question to answer.
Sure.
And again, guys, and this was this show is about. If you have any questions on anything we mentioned here that you don't understand, this show is created to get people going in their trading career. So if you have any questions, anything we mentioned, definitely ask. Don't hesitate. MPWR, guys, no volume at all. Looks like probably. Yeah, probably just a flat day today. I mean, flat morning right now. Nothing going on. Gap down yesterday, not with a lot of crazy movement neither. Also, the daily chart doesn't look all that clean. So yeah, I'm not liking the way this one is setting up this morning. So yeah, so let's get you guys an answer. I think Tyler on YouTube is asking that question. What is the short flow and what does it mean?
So it doesn't apply to us as day traders as much. Like when we take something short, for instance, it doesn't count toward the short float. But if you take if it's the number of shares of the float as a percent that is held short overnight, and it's reported twice a month by, they have to report it twice a month to FINRA, and it's on the 15th and the last day of the month. If either of those falls on a weekend, it's the previous day. But then it's for instance, October 15th, they'll report, and then that's due to the FINRA by the 17th, 2 days later. And that information is released after market close on the 24th. So, for instance, if there's a company with 100 million share float, and there are people holding 10 million shares of it short, that's a 10% short float, and that's overnight. Like I said, keep in mind that's delayed a little bit. So if they were holding it on the 15th, you wouldn't know about it until essentially trading on the 25th. So about 10 days later. So things can change drastically in that time, especially if there's a short squeeze or something along those lines.
All right, excellent. All right, folks, I think we got quite a bit on here that looks decent. So we're gonna get some in details. Go ahead.
There was a follow up here, so I'll answer that as well real quick. What does high percentage short float mean? It means a lot of people are holding it short. So it can make a stock trade more be more volatile in its trading. It almost like it reduces the float because a lot of those people holding short, you don't have you don't have grandma and grandpa with their retirement account with something short generally. Their IRA or their 401k, you're not going to be able to short stuff in there usually. So it's big time, big money investors and hedge funds that run short strategies. So they tend to be smarter money, not always, but tend to be, and that usually is held. So for a good period of time, unless they get squeezed or slowly get out of their shares. So it actually kind of acts as lowering the float overall because those really aren't going to be traded openly during the day. And then somebody's asking, what is it considered a high percent? It really just depends on the stock. Anything over 15, I'd say, is kind of a warning signal. And then you get up 25, 30 plus, and you're really you're kind of getting in the range of where you're going to tell a difference in the stock in a potential short squeeze.
Yep, absolutely. All right, let's get over to announcements, and then we'll fine tune this list over here. Here we go.
Hey guys, so the DAS number one best trader competition ends next Tuesday. You can check out the leaderboard at onebesttrader.com. Herbal Traders is really honored to have been nominated for the Benzinga FinTech Awards Best Financial Literacy Tool category. If you appreciate the content that we put out there each and every day, both in the chat room and for free on YouTube, we would sincerely appreciate your vote. AB will throw up the link. It takes about 2 seconds. You can vote one time per day per device. Meetups coming up. St. Louis, October 19th. You're going to have Kurt and William there. San Diego, October 26th. Coincides with the Trade Ideas Conference. Andrew will be on a panel at that conference. The conference isn't a huge one. I think it's around 100 people. I think that's what they had last year. It's in downtown San Diego. It really is great information. I know Lee W. watched it streaming with me last year. I don't know if he plans on doing it again this year. It is, I think, it's either $250 or $275 a ticket to go to the conference, but they stream it online for free. So I highly suggest, if you can't go, to stream it, and you really pick up some great information. Anyway, so Andrew's on a panel with the Trade Ideas Conference, and then later that night on the 26th, we're having a meet up there. Clearwater Beach, Florida, November 16th. We will have more information as we get closer to that event. Andrew sent out an email 2 days ago or so with some really interesting educational slash thoughts on the market going on and everything going on right now. Including that was a promo code for lifetime memberships, 30% off lifetime memberships with the promo code recession. And then if you're watching us in the YouTube channel and would like to check out the chat room, you can use the promo code premarket24. That's $24. Try out the chat room for a week. We would do it for free, but then we get there's too much traffic and people come in to joke around and too much. So in order to keep it serious, we charge a small amount for that. Does not auto renew, does not turn into another kind of membership. If you hit the subscribe button and then the notification bell, also you'll be notified whenever we go live with pre-market show, Williams Trade Reviews, any other live comment, any other live events that we put on YouTube, or any content. Sorry, my Siri's going off on my watch. Any other content that we put out, such as interviews with Dr. Steenbarger, Mike Belfiore, any of those. And then one last time, guys, today is the start of the Traders for a Cause event in Las Vegas. We're very proud to be a supporter of that. Andrew will be there this weekend. And if you're in Vegas or the area and decide you want to go at the last minute, you can get $250 off your ticket with promo code BearableVIP. You can go to tradersforacause.org and check out the awesome charities that they support. Excellent. So thank all you guys. Somebody's asking in the how do you vote for the FinTech Awards, so I'll repost that real quick.
All right, perfect.
On YouTube.
All right, guys, let's get to this list. We got quite an exciting list, I think, for today, for this Thursday. So good morning if you're just joining us. Welcome to the pre-market show. Also, one question we got is how important is the ATR? So that question came through on the YouTube channel. It's very important, guys. For example, what's one of the stock that usually trades crazy? I'm trying to think of one. The reason is you want to know why that's important, because you want to know how volatile the stock is. So this is based on a 14-day average, right? So for example, this one here, HEXO, this one is 28 cents. You know, it's not really going to move a lot, right? Look at Bank of America. Let's look at Bank of America. Bank of America also has a very low ATR, 61 cents, and that's an average of 14 days. Now, if we look at BYND, let's look at BYND.
Beyond the meat.
Yes, there we go. I was waiting for it. Nice.
It's been a long time since I've been able to say that. I was responding to a question and I was slow on the response.
So here it is. And now this looks good, actually, because this thing used to be, this was up to, what was it, $14, $15 on the ATR.
It was over 20. It was over 20 right? At one point early on.
So what they do is they take the average of the last 14 days, whatever that average of price movement is, that's what the ATR is going to be. So if you have a stock trading at 164, $150, and the ATR is $14, I mean, that is just, you want to be careful with that. So it's very important. If it's too much off balance like that, then you want to try to either avoid the stock, or if it looks really good and you have a really good setup, then you want to take, want to watch your risk and take a lesser shares, right? This is why in some cases you have some stocks that are, and again, like Apple can have a higher ATR and it's okay because it's a higher price stock. But $15, $20 on the ATR and something that's trading 150 is not a good ATR. You might not want to trade that. It's just very, very difficult to manage your risk. So what do we have here? Let's start at the top. Let's start with Roku. So Roku at the moment, again, it's just consolidating right now in this area in the pre-market. Let's set up some levels here. So towards the top, clear level right over here at 128.06. This is where we have this moving average, and also where we had this beautiful play here on the drop. Right, we had the loss of momentum here, kind of found the support. Then the following day, it had gapped up a little bit. No, I'm sorry, opened up, went up, and then gapped down right to that support, and then the huge sell-off here. So that was nice in that area. What else we have here? So going back towards this level here, we do have a midpoint, which I'm going to mark. Not the greatest level, because I like levels that do this, right? When you have that support, that clear change in direction, that's what you want to look for, right? So if you see here again, changing direction over here, again changing direction after this big drop, and then once it loses that, it goes down. These are great levels. Now here, that's a big move, guys, right? Going from 118 to 120, that's a $10 move. Can Roku do that? Absolutely. We moved probably $5 yesterday, it looks like, right? So we had a nice move yesterday from 110 almost to 117. In between there. So I want to have a midpoint where we can take some profits if we decide to take this long and it looks like a good opportunity. So 123.55, I'm going to put a level on there knowing that it can get over to 128. Yesterday we had this level here, 113. We wanted to break out of that. I'm sorry, 111. 111.84, and then we also had 113. And if you look at our intraday and the trading yesterday, you saw 113 where we had this level here. We had some hesitation around that area, 113.91. Broke out of it, came back, retested that 113, and then went higher, right? So we break through the level of resistance, wait for the pullback on the retest, and then if it goes high, it's a good indication that we're continuing our uptrend, which Roku had a beautiful uptrend yesterday. So going to keep Roku on the list, we got two levels towards the top, 128, 123. 55 towards the bottom. Plenty, guys. We're sitting right at the previous day close, but we also have the highs and lows from the last two trading days right on here, and we have two moving averages kind of curling up at the moment below the price action. So that is Roku at the moment. X, I like X because again we're retesting. We tested this thing 3 times already, 1, 2, and 3 yesterday. So I think it's in a good situation to go either way. They have some news of a CFO resigning. Let's see what we have towards the bottom, guys. Are we at all-time low? I don't think we are. No, yeah, I didn't think we were. So let's go back down here, see if we can find a good level off this list. Clearly, this one here, 940, that's a nice level there. We do have some consolidation happening all the way down here as well, as you can see clearly right on there at 6. I don't think we'll get down to 6. We have another one here at 7, and you can see it, guys, very clear. Once you put the lines, you can see right on there how this day is kind of consolidating around that level, 662, 771, and then slightly another one right on here at a 884. So we got plenty of levels towards the bottom. I don't think we'll get to maybe we'll get to 939. Maybe I don't think we'll get lower than that. Just the way it's been very weak already, very extended on the drop, and this thing has been tested 3 times. It might even bounce from here, so we'll have to see how this plays out. If it gets below the low of the day, the low of yesterday, you could possibly get a nice little flush here like we did here. Once it lost this level here, we got the flush. Once it lost this level here, it gapped down. Once we lost it here, once you lose these levels, you usually get a nice flush. Everybody bails on the stock. So towards the top, guys, plenty of levels, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days right on here between around 1075 all the way up to 1124, 26. You have some levels already. The only thing I will mark here is just the high of the pre-market at 1057. So I'll have that level on there just to see how it plays with that, and then I will see which way it's going to break out of today. It could just be chop, but again, it's got some good volume, 638 at the moment. So we'll see how that reacts at the open. CTRP, guys, I like the dailies setting up on a double bottom here, but again, just the volume is not there yet at all. Only 100 and 102. So we got a great question about regards to volume. What is considered good volume? So we usually try to look for stocks that are trading over 100,000, right? So anything in our gappers list here is going to be over 100,000 in volume, ATR over 50 cents, gapping up or down 2%, right? That's kind of like the criteria we're looking for. This one has great volume, right? 102, but look at the way this volume is being set up. You got a couple of block trades in here, so you're not really getting a good pre-market activity. So if you're joining us and you're new to the community, check out class 2. We talk about how we find these stocks in play and why we want a good pre-market activity and some volume, right? That's important point for us to look at the open. Now, does that mean that around 10 o'clock, 10:30, after you look at your stuff that has volume, right, like this one, 686, 555, 3.3 million, 1.8 million, 284. After you look at those, maybe for the first hour or so, you can turn to your secondary list and see if this thing is on a nice little uptrend or downtrend. So you can do that. You're not stuck to your entire list. After a certain time of the day, you can switch over and see what your secondary list is doing. So with that said, I am not going to keep this one. I'm going to remove that one off the list. Let's look at DAL. DAL is exciting, guys. 556,000 at the moment. Low of the pre-market sitting at 51.62. So I'm going to mark that down. Let's just go back and look at that 51.62. There's no coincidence where this is bouncing from, right? We had this beautiful drop and we're coming down to these levels, guys. Look at the consolidation happening here over a couple of days early in the year, and then you see here June again, a beautiful drop here right to this 51 and then back up. So again, if we lose that, there's a possibility that this thing can run, or we can bounce from there. So we'll wait to see what our market open is going to give us. I'm going to get another level towards the bottom, guys, just in case we lose this 51.62, which is the low of the pre-market. You clearly have an area here of consolidation, right? The most recent one is here, 49.14. You can see a nice little pop on the way back up. That's a big drop, but that is the best level on here. But that's a big drop. I like to sometimes get something in the midpoint, and I'm going to put this one on here and I explain why. 50.47. Here you can see an area of consolidation. We had the pop here. You see how tough it was for these guys to get over that 50.47, right? Kind of consolidated all the way through. Eventually they pop up, hit that low of the day, which we're at now, 51.62, right back down to this 50.47, and then break through it, same thing. You see how we just keep testing that same level around 50.47. So I'm going to keep that midpoint. If this thing loses 51.62, that's what I'm going to be aiming for as a potential profit target. Towards the top, guys, is very congested already. We have the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days right on here, and we also have the previous day close. I don't think you need to add any more to DAL at the moment. PCG, guys, this one has a good pre-market activity, has a nice little flow to it, tons of volume. Usually, I don't think there's some such thing as too much volume, but when stocks get over a certain amount at that open, they could be very, very, very choppy. So you want to be careful. Let it settle in. Let it settle down. This thing is down, nice 30% here. What is the short flow on this one? Oh, not bad, actually, 7%. So again, just be careful with this. Let's wait 5-15 minutes for it to settle down. It has a lot of volume. Just imagine at the open how much more volume is going to pour into PCG today. So low of your pre-market, $7. Your high is sitting at $8. Let's go over towards the top. Your next area of possible support in the past and now resistance will be $9. So we'll mark that down. And then above that, you have all these support and resistance based off the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. I'm going to go back and see. Yeah, we dipped. This is the one where we dipped low after the news broke out. We went down to like $4. Yeah, here it is, 551. So again, this thing has hit some pretty low numbers. 510 it looks like the best level of support if we lose this $7 here. Again, some good pre-market activity happening right now. We're kind of setting up some good ranges in here, so eventually hopefully we can get a breakout. Either way, it will be nice to watch. BBBY, guys, this one is also up quite a bit, 19%. As high as I think it's 25 probably. Low of your pre-market sitting at 1160. Your high sitting around 1230. Let's see what we got towards the top here. So towards the top, you have a moving average right at 13. So I'm going to mark that down because that's at a whole number on top of that. So that makes it even more exciting. And towards above that, you have a very clean one on here around 1392. You can see the drop comes back, retests that level, and then drops down. So I like those 3 levels towards the top: 1392 and 1230 as your high of your pre-market. Towards the bottoms, the earliest area of support you see is around here, around 11, right? So 11, we blew right through that, obviously gapping up today. But look how this whole dollar number, 11 and 1160, right, which is the low of the pre-market, is no coincidence, right? If you see that line here, you can see on these couple of days how they're consolidating between that range until they finally break out one way or the other. In this case, we broke down towards the bottom. So I like the way BBY is setting up in the pre-market, guys. Great volume, almost 2 million shares traded. Look at this beautiful range, that nice flow. This is what we want to see. When we say, hey, it's a beautiful pre-market activity, this is it right here. Nice range, nice flow with some decent volume. So BBY is definitely my favorite today, this morning. Apple is not doing quite as much in the pre-market activity right now, but they do got some good volume, 286. And Norm and I have been watching this one because this thing I think is priming, is getting primed to take off any minute. So I definitely want to keep an eye on Apple. If we can get above some of these levels, it can really run. Next level we have towards the top. I'm not going to add anything towards the bottom because we have plenty down there. But towards the top, you have 229, basically 230. That's where we're trying to get to. That was the high of a couple of days ago. And that could be a good area we can get to in today. Let's look at AMTD. So AMTD doesn't have much going on right now. It will turn into hit our scanners in a second here. It has 97,000 shares traded. But I'm not liking the pre-market activity at the moment. I think this does have some potential to start heading higher as it has found like a bottom here, kind of like got a support, kind of like what Roku did, right? We had this beautiful drop, found support, and then started squeezing people higher. So I think there's some potential on here, but I'm going to have this as a possible AMTD. I'm not going to have it as one I'm going to watch. Our high of our pre-market is sitting at 34.87, so we'll mark that down. We have a moving average around 36.21, so we'll put that there. Towards the bottom, plenty, guys. Highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. I don't think you need to add any more on here. Again, this is a big drop, guys. 52-week low as well, which is nice. We created that a couple of days ago, so I think it'll be a fun one to watch if we can get going and also get some help from the SPY as well. That's gonna be interesting also. So let's put it on here. Here we go. AMTD on my secondary list. HPQ also on my secondary list. I do like the drop here, but I'm not liking the pre-market activity. I am going to have some levels for this though. I got 1587 low of the pre-market. High of the pre-market sitting right now at 1610. But again, this pre-market activity is not looking all that great. So even though we have some above 100,000 in volume, this pre-market activity does not look like a BBBY or like an X, right? It's not giving us that good movement there. So we'll push it down here. Secondary list. All right. I think that's it for right now. Let's go through this real quick. Anything else I missed, guys, that you like this morning? Cornelius, so yeah, Norm answered it. I see that right below there. Yeah, it's a buyout, so that's, you got the volume on there, but I don't expect anything crazy out of that. And CPRT is a block trade. That's correct. That's correct, Zach. It's not looking great. FSCT. Let's look at that. FSCT. Whoa, nice little drop here. Daily looks a little crappy though, right? Very choppy here. So this guy's a nice little drop here. Not much volume, down 30%. So that's interesting. FSCT. Let's see what's going on. So 40 million shares flow. So it is. It's not a low flow. It definitely is. It's in range of what we like to see. ATR $1.54. Yeah, this could be a good possible, guys. Doesn't have the volume right now. That's why the pre-market activity doesn't look all that great. But this drop, I mean, how can you avoid a drop like that, right? On something that that was trading a little higher. Now, what I don't like about this one is the daily chart looks a little choppy, right? Every candle overlaps the previous candle. So you don't have this nice flow on this daily. I'm not sure what the news is on this one. But that could put me away from this. You know what, guys? I'm not going to watch it. I think we have some other stocks that look very good today. The drop is sexy. I got to tell you, down 30%. I like that. But again, it's just not something I want to add. I think we have a pretty good list here. Now, if you want to add it to your secondary list, you know what? Let's do that. Let's show some love. Let's add it to our secondary list, and we can watch it in case it hits our scanners. But I'm not going to put it on my main list. All right, so just to recap, we have Roku on here, which I think is going to be great to watch. Either way, we can have a pullback or we can get a continuation. We have X here. X is a little wild. It has some news broke out early this morning, causing a lot of volume spikes here. So this could be interesting. The ATR on X, somebody's asking. ATR is not it's 72. So that's a decent ATR for a stock that's trading at $10, right? That's not bad, you know. Again, just because it's a lower price, guys, don't go crazy with your buying power and filling it up. You know, set your risk to what it needs to be, and just trade, you know, with a set risk, right? Don't go in here buying, you know, 10,000 of buying power. Don't go crazy. DAL here is good. I like the L, so we got our level set over here. Some good volume, down 3.3. A little choppy on the pre-market activity, guys, but let's wait, you know, 5, 10, 15 minutes to see how that develops. PCG's coming back, so I think it wants to try to break this $8 mark here, high of the pre-market. If it does that, we have some area we can run to here up to 903, so that's good. BBBY doing a nice little range trading here as well. Some good pre-market activity. Look at the volumes. Just love that. Yeah, it does not get better than that. That's a good one today. It will be on my one of my favorites. Apple, I like, and AMDT is a possible. How many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, too many. So I'm going to move down AMTD down.
SPY's getting some serious volume right
Yeah,
now.
BBY is definitely taking some of that volume. Let's look over. I see pump is on here. PUMP, not doing much. BVFF also coming up in our gapper scanners. BVFF, no, not doing. I don't like the way this is setting up. All right, guys, I think this is what we have. We have a good list. Here's our main watch list. Here's our possibles. And again, eyes on the scanners in case one of these possibles pop up. We can also tune into this around 10, 11. If nothing's going on here, we can tune into this, see what's going on there. And you can also check out to see if any of the stocks here don't get any volume, to get no action, they're trading horrible. Replace it with one of your secondary lists to see if anything comes out of that. All right, guys. And Norm, anything we missed before we log off?
That's all I got, man. Covered it well.
All right, excellent, guys. Guys, thank you for joining us on YouTube. Have a safe trading Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern time to end the week Friday. Take care, guys, and trade safe.
Take care, guys. Trade safe. See you tomorrow morning.